What's up, all my Jaguars out there, and welcome to another epic episode of Ralph's Universe, the Reboot. But that's pretty much obvious, don't you think? Let's do it. What's up, Jaguars? Ralph Jaguar is back, and it's good to finally be back, because it feels like it's been a long ass minute since I've made or come to you with a brand new episode of Ralph's Universe, the Reboot. Well, at least it feels that way, for the past few days and weeks, I've been dealing with a lot of issues, technical issues, of course, having some trouble with the computer. But thanks to the help of my boys in the shop, I'm able to come back with another one. And in this episode of the Reboot, I will be covering and reviewing ROBOCOP. That's right, ROBOCOP, the brand new ROBOCOP movie for 2014. So I guess the appropriate title for this new movie would have to be ROBOCOP 2014. It is the remake of the legendary Super Cop. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I remember many years ago, when I was very young, just a kid growing up. I remember the year 1987. I didn't go to the theaters to watch this movie. I actually watched this on DVD at the house of a real good friend of mine. The movie that I saw is called ROBOCOP. The original ROBOCOP, the future of law enforcement. This movie was very epic, lots of action pack and all that. Because you see, even way back then, ROBOCOP was very legendary and very popular. I mean, this movie right here was so mother effing epic. Oh yeah, so epic. So epic, in fact. Of course, this movie was followed by about 3 sequels. ROBOCOP 2 and then ROBOCOP 3. Now the third one I heard, wasn't very good. Yeah, there were a lot of critics about that one, but that's okay, because I saw ROBOCOP 2 as well, and I saw ROBOCOP 3. Okay, now ROBOCOP 3 may not have been the best movie in the world, but I still liked it. It was real good, and it kept the story moving along. And of course, that is the case with all of the sequels for all of the movies, like for instance, with the Ninja Turtles and the Batman, movies, sequels, just basically keeps the story moving along. And that was the case here with the ROBOCOP series movies. And I think it's very good, to keep the series moving along. And anyways, ROBOCOP, was also followed by, there were a lot of animated series made, for ROBOCOP. The original animated series of ROBOCOP. And then another series for ROBOCOP was made. It was called ROBOCOP The Prime Directives. Now, ROBOCOP Prime Directives is something I discovered, way after, the ROBOCOP movie. Okay? And what that movie was about, it was supposed to, that was told, right after the very first ROBOCOP movie. And And according to that storyline, RoboCop 2 and 3 was not have supposed to have happened. And that was definitely the case for RoboCop, the live action TV series. And and it seems to me that all of these RoboCop movies were portrayed by and played by different actors and cast and all that. And the character of RoboCop, all of the characters, they were shuffled around throughout the years by different companies and different motion picture organizations. Now, the success of the RoboCop franchise, it seems to vary to me because, some were better than others, be it the animated series or the movies or the TV series. Yeah, some were different than others. But I have to tell you, the one that I liked it the most, the one that I remember, the one called the animated series known as RoboCop Alpha Commando. Now, I'm pretty sure all of you RoboCop fans out there know what I'm talking about when I say that. That's an animated series of RoboCop. Yeah, that was during the early 2000s. Well, wait a minute, not early 2000s, but maybe, like the late 1990s. Could have been like 98 or 97, something like that. But yeah, that was the time when that was a story, of RoboCop, in the future, not in the near future, but the future of Detroit. And he was, working for the feds, So that was just another version of the RoboCop storyline. And after that, I didn't think that they would make any more, series, based on RoboCop. Many years had gone by. But, however, I think it's pretty obvious. You know it, I know it. Throughout the internet, every RoboCop was fresh in everybody's mind. Even though there were other new movies and other new series coming out, like, Captain America, Marvel Avengers, Thor, Incredible Hulk, RoboCop may have went, years may have gone by when there wasn't any more RoboCop series, whether it be a TV series, an animated series, or anything like that being made. But I think it was pretty obvious that the character RoboCop was really fresh in everybody's mind. Because ever since this movie came out, RoboCop 1, 2, and 3, even the TV series and the animated series, he was fresh in everybody's mind. Because I'll tell you one thing, RoboCop was definitely very fresh in my mind. Even though there were other, TV shows and other superheroes coming out into the limelight. Yeah, RoboCop may have been gone, but he was not forgotten. And I knew that was the case. We all knew that was the case. But I will have to tell you, Jaguars, I had no idea that RoboCop would come out with another movie in the year 2014. Because when I heard that, RoboCop came out with another new movie, I was in shock. I was like, whoa. So what you're looking at right here is the original RoboCop. And this right here is the brand new RoboCop. Oh yeah, check them out. The brand new RoboCop for our brand new century. The 21st century. Because it was about a week and a half ago that I saw, this new movie for, 2014. And I've seen the magazines. Before watching this movie, I looked at the magazines that, were talked about this new RoboCop and this new movie. And I was a little bit skeptical about it. Just like a lot of other people were. simply because of the look and, you know, the differences, you know, the exposed hand. Yeah, that kind of got me right there, you know, I will have to admit, you know, because and his left hand is robotic, but then they gave him, well, of course, you know, that is a new hand, of course, you know, his new right hand, but it looks, you know, human. And and I was skeptical about that, I will admit that. But when I went to go see the movie, when I watched the movie, I saw that there was a purpose for that, you know. There was a great purpose for that. A risky move, but you know what? Sometimes you have to take risk, and that's what they did. More like, you know, a roll of the dice, but hey, voila, it worked. Oh yeah. That's right, it worked. Because I watched this movie from beginning to end, and I'm telling you, Jaguars, this movie is so mother effing epic. You know, this new RoboCop, you know, seems to be a lot more faster and a lot more agile than the first. I mean, don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted, Jaguars. I did like the original RoboCop, you know, and I don't really want to compare and contrast, you know, the original RoboCop and this new RoboCop right here, you know, because I really like the first one, you know, that, because the very original, very first RoboCop, you know, I grew up on that one. You know, it's a part of my childhood, and I'll always like it. But however, this new RoboCop, like I said, you know, it seems to be a lot more faster, a lot more agile. But I don't know which one would win in a fight, you know, because when it comes to strength, yeah, they may be pretty much the same. A lot of people may be, you know, very skeptical when it comes to remaking movies, and it happens a lot, you know, during our times. You know, of course, Captain America was remade, Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man, and I believe that is very few times whenever a movie is remade or rebooted, it turns out to be a success. Well, you know what? In this case right here with RoboCop 2014, this is one of those few times that it is a success. Oh yeah. I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you right now, RoboCop 2014 is so mother effing epic. Because everything about this movie is epic. The action is epic. The story is epic. You know, the look of this new RoboCop is epic. The characters are epic. And most definitely the actors here. Because the whole storyline just grabbed me. Because even though, you know, the storyline of this movie and RoboCop's origin is really different than the original RoboCop, you know, even though, you know, they made a whole lot of changes, you know, I still like it. Because one difference I noticed, it was the origin, you know, because in the very first, you know, RoboCop movie, you know, it was, you know, Alex, you know, Murphy, because back then in the very first RoboCop movie, Officer Alex Murphy was shot to death by a whole bunch of, you know, guys, by criminals actually. But in this new movie right here, RoboCop 2013, it's Detective Alex Murphy of the Detroit Police Department. You know, he was, how should I say, he was blown up and brought to near death by a huge car bomb. And And unlike and then I would say that, people know the rest of the story, but that's the thing. If you don't watch the movie, you don't know the rest of the story because they made changes. Yeah, because in this movie, another change. It's not OCP. It's Omnicorp, I believe. Yeah, Omnicorp Products. Which is also short for OCP, I guess. Go figure. But anyways, yeah, they did go to they did recover, what was left of Alex Murphy's body, after that car bomb. And then this time they didn't just, pronounce Alex Murphy dead, even though he was at near death and most of his body parts were blown up. And by the way, that part of the movie was real graphic, people. Even though this is a PG-13 movie, it is kind of, that part of the movie is real graphic, So I'm just going to leave it at that, okay? But this time, Omnicorp didn't make the decision themselves. They left it up to, Alex Murphy's wife, okay? And, they basically told her that, he would be in a wheelchair for like many years, and the only way to save his life would be to turn Alex Murphy into a cyborg cop. So basically they came to her and they just told her that there was no other choice. The only way to save him was to, turn him into a cyborg cop, turn him into RoboCop. But now, first of all, you don't have to worry, okay? I'm not going to give away the movie because this movie is still in the theaters as I film this right here, while I'm doing this review. It's still in the movie, but don't worry, I'm not going to give away too many spoilers. Yeah, I'm not going to ruin it for you guys, okay? Because you all know that that's not my style. So yeah, that is what happened. That's just one of the changes. Yeah, just one of the differences between, this RoboCop and the first this RoboCop and the original RoboCop. And you will be seeing a whole lot of differences, once you watch this movie. Because another difference in this movie is the Ed 209. Because you remember the very first one? Well, they changed the entire look of that one too. And I will have to tell you, there are a lot of very good features in, RoboCop 14. I mean, there is a whole lot of plot, story. Like I told you before, the story is epic. A whole lot of shocking surprises, and yeah, revelations about people who you thought that you can trust. Yeah, big surprise there, huh? Yes, there will be some betrayals. Yeah, real shocker. So what I want to do right now is talk about and discuss, just some of the major characters in this movie, okay? Because like I said before, I don't want to give away too much, and I'm not going to do that. So what I've done is just pulled out, a few select characters and the actors, because I'm telling you, Jaguars, there are a lot of, familiar faces here. Some new people, but then again, some familiar faces here, from other movies. Oh yeah, they all came together for this one. Here is Gary Oldman. He played Dr. Norton in this movie. I remember him from the Christian Bale's, Batman series movies. He was in, of course, yeah, we all remember that. He was in, Batman Begins, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Gary Oldman was Commissioner Gordon in Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, I believe that was him, in those movies. And of course, that's what he's real famous for. He played a major role in this movie. You know, the doctor, you know, one of the very few people that's trying to help, you know, Alex Murphy out in his, how should I put it, this very rare condition that he's in, this, you know, and trying to adjust to his new change. You know, this guy right here, at first I wasn't really sure about him, you know, him being all friendly like that, but then he proved himself, you know, by his actions. Yeah, because his courage, you know, says a lot about him. Here is Jack Early Haley. In this movie, he takes the role of Maddox, the military technician, ex-military guy. Yep, another ex-military guy. And now he's working for Omni Consumer Products. You know, he was in here, you know, trying to, you know, help Alex Murphy out, you know, how to use the weapons and his systems and all that. I don't know if he was really trying to help him out, because basically in most of the parts of this movie, you know, Maddox was really being a a-hole in this movie, especially during the training sessions for you know, RoboCop. So I don't know about me, but I'm getting the feeling that, you know, you may not end up liking this guy very much. Now this guy right here, I know very well. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. You know, Michael Keaton, you know, mainly because of the 1989 Batman the movie, you know. Yeah, I was very young when I saw that movie. You know, I like that movie a lot. That movie was epic, you know, and it's no doubt, there's no doubt about it, you know. The 1989, you know, Batman the movie, you know, it's part of it's a classic, okay, and it's part of the franchise that made Batman what he is today. And this man right here was very good in his role. Michael Keaton, you know, he was in that movie. He played, you know, Bruce Wayne / Batman, and he did a good job of that. So that is why I know him very well. But in this new RoboCop movie right here for 2014, he plays Raymond Sellers, and I have to say he did a rather good job, you know. In fact, you know, he did a very epic job, you know, playing the character of Raymond Sellers, you know, the chairman and head guy in charge of Omni Corp, you know, products. Yeah, first he starts out as a good guy, but then, you know, but as the movie, you know, progresses, you know, Raymond Sellers seems to only care about himself and making money, and not caring too much about, you know, people who are traumatized by this whole BS, you know. Because I can guarantee you right now, you know, by the end of this movie, you know, you're not going to like, you know, Raymond Sellers too much. And right here are Alex's family and friends, you know, from left to right. He got his wife, that's his son, and the guy right here is his best friend and partner in the Detroit Police Department. You know, of course, as you'll see in the movie, you know, this is the lady that made the call on whether or not to turn Alex Murphy into a cyborg cop. So I guess you can say that, this great lady right here is the reason why, RoboCop was born. And right here we have, Joel. Let me see, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Kinnaman. Joel Kinnaman. He's playing Alex Murphy, detective of the Detroit Police Department. He's playing our hero, our cyborg super cop. And as opposed, and also comparing and contrast, the very first and previous RoboCop movies, I feel like Joel is doing a real good job here. Definitely a good actor, no doubt about that. But as far as the storyline goes, this Alex Murphy is a real epic cop, a very good detective. Because one of the very many changes of this RoboCop, especially the capabilities that he have in his eyesight, in his visor. It also, they've also installed a lot of tools in his helmet, that'll help him be a better detective. He's able to analyze clues, get fingerprints, and put pieces of the puzzle together in order to bring down the bad guys. And most definitely, as you'll see in this movie, corrupt cops. Because you see, before he becomes RoboCop, Alex Murphy is a veteran detective. Yeah, a veteran police detective. He's solved a lot of cases. So being a detective is nothing new to him. In fact, he can rival Batman when it comes to being a detective. Using all of the state-of-the-art, accessories and equipment. And RoboCop, has the advantage over regular robots, as you see in this movie, because of his humanity and his compassion. In fact, that is why RoboCop has the edge over his enemies, and it makes him better for the job. And it also, RoboCop is a lot more better, and he will beat out all those, Ed 209s. Okay. Because so this RoboCop right here is definitely epic. And of course, we can't forget about Samuel L. Jackson. Yep, he's in this movie too. And as I wrote right here, this is the epic actor that is, stealing the show. Oh man. Yeah, you're really going to like Samuel L. Jackson in this movie. I mean, this guy is legendary, and he is very good at his job. Okay, so far, okay, here's what I forgot to mention before, I started this review, is that, yeah, this movie came out sometime in February. Yeah, it came out, in February 28th, 2014, I believe, of this year. At right about the same time as, the other movie, Son of God, came out. And by now, I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, but then again, a lot of other people haven't seen it. So that is why I didn't want to spoil, any of the moments here by telling you the details of this movie. And of course, all my usual fans out here, my Jaguars, that I only give you an idea about something whenever I review it. I don't give away, the intense details. But right now, what I want to do is go through is yeah, let's read other people's reactions for these movies. Okay, so what happened was, other people saw the movie and they gave their reactions and their comments. So let's read them, and I'm gonna try to respond to them. Okay. Niro 87 says, it was good, in some ways better than the original, but the original had something about it I really enjoyed. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Was good, but TBH could have been just a bit better. Great watch all in all. Okay, that was a good comment, very nicely written and a review there. He gave it a 7.5 out of 10. But what I'm wondering is, why did he give it a 7.5 out of 10? He didn't give his reason for that. Oh, that's right. The TBH could have been better. But I have no idea what TBH stands for or what he means by it. Go figure. VY Letter Rose says, yep, still good movie. Even the second time around. Wow, this guy right here is implying that he watched it twice. That's how good it was, huh? Yep, hey, I told you this movie was epic. It's very epic. TB Lathes 1986 says, okay, I've been avoiding watching this. Time to give it a try. Oh yeah, definitely give it a try, my friend. Because I have a feeling that you will not be disappointed by watching this. Whoa. What kind of name is this? Okay, I'm gonna try to pronounce it, okay? I'll try to pronounce it. Let's see if I can get this right. Stinky Nuts. Damn. Oh. Stinky Nuts. Wow, that's a very interesting name. Oh man. Okay, Stinky Nuts says, damn, that was a good movie. Okay, yeah, I agree with you. This is a good movie. Not even good, it's more like epic. But you might want to work on the name, my friend. Good gosh. Okay, Slapshot. Okay, I guess this name's a little more better. Decent. Well, speaking of decent, Slapshot says, decent. It would have been better if it was rated R though. Okay, now, yeah, like I mentioned before, yeah, Slapshot here is making a very good point. Yeah, maybe it should have been rated R, only because of, like I said, like I have explained before, the car explosion, that basically maimed, Alex Murphy. But then again, there's also the profanity that people were using in this movie. People saying words like bull, S-H-I-T, and a few F-bombs here and there. Now, don't get me wrong, Jaguars. I don't mind a few F-bombs here and there, but since this is rated PG-13, kids are watching it. So, we have to kind of clean up the language. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got to clean up that language. Okay? Now, Chicago 111 says, I liked this movie, but it tanked at the box office. I think it would have made more money if the actor had been black and they changed the title of the movie from RoboCop to Cyborg. I would rather go see DC Comics Cyborg than RoboCop. What the F is that supposed to mean? And why is he also saying that it would have been better if the actor had been black? What that got to do with anything? Oh, come on now. Are you really? I mean, this racial thing again. I mean, what? This guy is saying that it would have been better if the actor had been black. Question: was the original RoboCop black? And that's besides the point. What that got to do with anything? I mean, really, this is. Come on, man. And you'd rather go see DC Comics Cyborg? I mean, I knew people were now. If he's having a hard time because of the changes that were done in this movie, okay, I would understand that. But that part where he said that he preferred for this RoboCop to be black, I mean, that is just pure nonsense. I mean, Chicago 111, really? Jeez. I mean, I don't think there's any reason to play the race card here. Lord have mercy. Semi 5 says, wait a minute, did I pronounce that right? Semi 5 or Semi 5? Yeah, I think I got it right. Anyway, this guy says, I'm waiting like crazy the DVD/HD on this one. Best 2014 movie so far, I guess. Will be in my top 3 of this year when finished. Very well said. That's right, because this movie is epic, and Semi 5 seems to think so. Okay, very good. Mr. Dope Man. Oh my God, what the fuck? Mr. Dope Man. Okay, what is up with these names? First it was Slapnut and the Slapnot, or now we got Mr. Dope Man. Okay, Mr. Dope Man. Anyways, Mr. Dope Man says, good copy movie, kinda boring, gets decent after 45 minutes into it. Boring? What do you mean boring? This movie is epic, okay? I mean, okay, yeah, I admit, the very first, RoboCop movie, things got intense right off the bat. But you gotta build plot, you gotta build story. And that's what this movie did, And he says that this movie is boring, but it got good at 45 minutes into it. Come on, man, what is Mr. Dope Man talking about? Come on now. Don't be a dope, Mr. Dope Man. Okay, the Black Death 134, the Black Death 134. Alright, this guy had a lot to say about this one. Did you really have, Black Death 134 says, did you really have to do that? A-holes, RoboCop wasn't meant to be remade, leave be a memory. I mean, I can understand Superman, Batman, Spider-Man remakes, even Flash Gordon, for crying out loud. It's just action movies, action movies, round and round. We go fed blank our whole lives. Expendables 1 and 2, I honestly don't want to see another action movie ever again. How many different angles can you see an explosion from, or a car crash? It's been done one way or the other before. Don't get me wrong, I don't put everything under the action title. For instance, the Bourne spook movies are masterpieces, but honestly, I've seen Commando, Terminator, etc. You know I was going to give Pain and Gain a miss because the front cover with The Rock shouts action movie. I only watched it to see how big Wahlberg had got lucky. I watched it all and it's an unmiserable movie. 10 out of 10. Repetitive action movies are bringing the movie industry down. So basically what he's saying is that repetitive movies are bringing action movies down. Okay, I definitely disagree with that, and I think the rest of the planet disagrees with that. I mean, Mr. Black Death, jeez. Well, you know, that's his opinion, so let's just let him stick with it. Now, this guy right here is calling himself Raiden. That's right. Not Raiden. Raiden. Raiden says, everything's a remake. It's easy money. For every 20 years, you have 20 generations to rip off. Well, that's one way of putting it. Remake this, remake that. Yeah, we'll just remake everything. It's easy money. But if that was the case, then everybody would have money. Now, wouldn't it? Okay, now here is Cedric. Someone with a common name, finally. For F's sake, if you don't like a movie, don't watch it. Not criticize about it. No one is forcing you to watch it. Okay. Now, even though this is a good point that Cedric is making, but people do have, you know, rights to their opinions, and criticizing a movie, yeah, that is the whole point of this whole thing, Cedric. I hope you kind of realize this. I mean, don't criticize it. Come on, man. It's kind of the whole point of this whole movie, okay? I mean, in a sense, because Cedric is saying, you know, if you don't like the movie, don't watch it. You know, there's no need to criticize it. But if you don't like the comments that other people are leaving, then you don't have to read the comment section. Okay? Okay. Okay. So, in closing, you know, I just read all those comments, and I have to say, you know, that's a lot of input there, a lot of insight, interesting input and insight. Yeah, right. Okay. Oh yeah, sorry about it. Yeah, but yeah, you know, a lot of opinions, you know, vary, you know, as it always will with the movies, you know. I mean, you want to call this the reboot of RoboCop or the remake, you know, doesn't really matter to me. You know, I am titling this, you know, RoboCop 2014. And I feel like, you know, this movie is very epic. There's no doubt about that. Because I really like this movie a lot, you know, and I do not mind seeing this again. You know why? Because This movie right here is so mother effing epic. Oh yeah, very epic. But as far as, this being the best movie of 2014, that I don't know. Because I haven't seen, Captain America and Thor's movies yet. In fact, I haven't even seen Marvel Avengers yet. But I do plan on watching those. And maybe, I'll be able to get around to, reviewing those movies. But back to RoboCop 2014. Yeah, there's no doubt about it, This movie right here is without a doubt Jaguar Approved, which means that I am giving this movie my seal of approval. I like it a lot. There are a lot of differences, a lot of changes, from the original. But that may be what makes this movie even better, okay? Because you all know, all my Jaguars know, I'm not really a big fan of changes. But you know what? It depends on what kind of change it is. Is it a change for the better or a change for the worse? And this movie right here, I think it's a change for the better. So am I recommending that people go watch RoboCop 2014? Absolutely. All fans of superheroes and action-packed movies, yeah, you definitely need to go see this movie. Give it a fair chance. I have a feeling that you will like it. Peace out. Till the next episode.